right, hello, and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing Delta Green tonight. We are continuing our Impossible Landscapes campaign, where I don't know, man, things are just crazy. Like I don't really have anything else to say about that. Yeah, so I've been running two Delta Green games a week, Thursday, Friday, for like the past 4 weeks. My brain doesn't work, so it's fine, but it's great. Let's see other things we do here on the channel as people are jumping in. Hello. Let's see. We are doing some Halloween stuff, right? So I think me and as I call you, Chelsea, Ashley, and Long, Melissa. I think we're gonna do some Halloween shenanigans tomorrow in place of our Blades in the Dark game. I think we're gonna do the same thing probably next Saturday as well, and then eventually in November we're gonna switch over to One Ring for a little bit. This coming Monday, we're going to be playing Ultraviolet Grasslands. You can catch Melissa and I in that one. You can also catch Melissa and I over on Tuesdays on the Sirenscape Twitch channel as we are playing through Call of Cthulhu. Wednesday, I'm over on DOK channel playing Pathfinder 2 and worshiping a potato god. Good times.
Tomorrow, playing Forbidden Lands.
Oh yeah, Forbidden Lands tomorrow. I totally forgot about Forbidden Lands. Yeah. It's tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, we had tons of stuff, tons of games we're playing. Just put on Twitch, you'll find us. It's cool, except on like a really huge channel, like some of the other ones. Just these quaint, hard-working channels that we are. So let's do some intros. We'll dive in and see where this takes us tonight. Let's start with Long. Long, who are you playing?
Hey, I'm playing Vessel.
Okay, cool. Good answer. What do we need to know about Vessel? What's going through his head right at this point in time? What's in his mind right now?
I think his sanity's really low, so that might bite me soon.
Yeah.
Like 12.
And I think Fawn's single digits. Is that right? Isn't Fawn like 8?
We're tied at 12, actually.
We're both tied at 12. Okay.
It's a race.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win? I don't know. Ashley won the award for first person to die. Who's going to get the award for first person to go to 0 sand? Because it's going to happen. Speaking of Ashley, who are you playing?
I am playing Agent Chelsea. I currently have 26 sand. So
yeah.
I'm hanging in, kind of.
Yeah, you're dead, though, so it's different.
Yeah. But I'm dead, but I'm not dead. I personally
no one knows how to
know
handle
if
it.
I'm dead.
You don't.
I don't.
You don't.
So, but I mean, I'm there.
In the post-campaign wrap-up, we'll talk a little bit about what happened with Ashley. Well, I'm sure there'll be questions. And,
do I sound better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Veronique San. Let's see. We got 12 San on Fawn and Vessel. So that's not good. And 20-something on Chelsea. And I think
26.
Album, 26. And an Album, where are you at?
I have 29 sanity.
29. Album's like he's like a young buck. He's going to live forever. It's going to be great. Speaking of Album, what's going through Album's mind? Because the last thing you saw was Chelsea appear out of a door in a wall that didn't have a door. And this is after you saw her dead and you spent all day researching demon summoning ways to get her back alive. So what's going through his head right now?
After throwing a knife at her and her not being able to recall what day it is, Album is thoroughly convinced that this is not actually Chelsea, and has every intention of following up with that knowledge as he sees fit.
Okay, good to know. And then finally we've got Fawn. What's going through Fawn's mind right at this point, Melissa? Because the last we saw you and Vessel, the two of you followed the two people who were casing and kind of staking out the hotel, the Boxer Hotel, and you followed them to this dark clothing warehouse, and you went inside, saw a bunch of mannequins, some dressed like yourselves, came out back outside in the same car that you saw running, saw them driving. Looks to have been abandoned years ago, months ago, and it's got graffiti all over it. It's on blocks, there's no wheels, stuff like that. What's going through Fawn's mind right about now?
I would like to say it's a bit like that commercial where like the guy goes up to the attic and there's like all the mannequins that are set up and he's like, nope, and kind of walks the other way. I feel like that's sort of about where Fawn's at right now. It's like there were mannequins of us wearing what we were wearing in 1995, and just all of the stuff, and it's just like, nope, no.
Yeah, I
No.
think that's a Geico commercial because I think there's a lizard
Yeah.
was in it. So yeah, nope, it's good. Yep. I mean, you did. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have played the ice cream song just to drive Melissa crazy even more.
Oh no,
But, yeah,
no.
she doesn't like that song at all. She does not like
Did
that
you
song.
ever play that around the house just to fuck with her?
No, I
No,
thought
he's
about
nicer
it.
than that.
I know, like I act like a jerk.
I would
but
have done it in a heartbeat, like just
I'm a
once.
sweetheart. You only lived twice, 3 times. Okay, maybe 4 times. Okay, 5. So all right, let's dive in. Summary. If you've been watching us this whole time, if you're first time watching us, you might want to start earlier. This is part 3 of a 4-part campaign. We're more than halfway through part 3, I think, at this point. Things are gonna get wild depending on some decisions, but we'll see. But this is D-Cell, self-proclaimed D-Cell. Started together in 1995, investigating Abigail Wright in New York City, the McAllister building, blew that building up, never found Abigail Wright. 20 years later, got called to Boston for a second operation to investigate missing psychiatric patients, one of whom wrote in presumably blood on the walls something about Abigail Wright. Eventually, you all became, or always were, psychiatric patients in the Dorchester facility. You twice between the Dorchester house and back in the McAllister building, you've been in some kind of weird, ethereal kind of night floor place that just seemed to go on forever. It was always night, etc. But you managed to escape. You got some help from a guy who apparently has invented demonology, even though it's 2015 and demonology in the form that we have it in the game has existed for hundreds and hundreds of years. And then from another guy who wants you to do all sorts of weird shit out in the real world. But you made it out, but you're everywhere. Like you're on TV, you're on the radio. Your hotels are getting staked out. You're doing your best to kind of keep a low profile. You've disguised yourselves a bit by hiring a semi-professional, excellent something or other, like a hairdresser extraordinaire. Most recently, however, as a few on the screen were exploring a window in the wall of the Boxer Hotel that was not a window to the outside world, but a window to presumably a room within the hotel brothel bin, the name of a hotel that has kind of struck a chord in the investigation here and there. 2 of you nearly drowned. Fawn was knocked out asleep. Chelsea got killed by a knife-wielding guy in a trench coat inside the bathroom. While Album was researching how to maybe call a demon to help heal Chelsea somehow, Vessel and Fawn went out looking and collecting ingredients for the ritual. Chelsea came back. Door opened up, and out walked Chelsea right into the room with major gaps in her memory. There's lots of things that she's forgetting, especially over the course of the last couple days to a couple weeks. But she has basic memory of coming to Boston at some point. But in terms of like all the specifics and things that you've been dealing with over the past few days, that stuff is just not there. We're going to start up with, we have 2 groups, I think 2 places. We've got Vessel and Fawn, who are at, looks like a JCPenney warehouse. You're staring at this old car that's up on blocks that just 15 minutes ago you had followed across the city, So we're going to start there. What are the 2 of you doing as you are in this industrial area, dark, no one else around? Never found the 2 people that were in the car who entered the factory. And when you came back out of this mannequin zone, here you are with this car. So what are the 2 of you deciding that you want to do?
I don't remember if I did this last time, but I definitely want to pull my phone out and verify the date.
You pull your phone out and you do verify the date. It is, in fact, 2015, as you might expect it. It is, I can give you the exact date, September 9th, Wednesday. It's roughly 11 p.m.
So we were in there for about as much time as we would have thought we were in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm going to look at the graffiti
Sure.
a little closer.
Okay. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. A lot of crude words, symbols, etc. Broken windows here and there, dents, stuff like that. It's been anything valuable has been ripped. You can see inside. Radio and such have been ripped out. Part of the steering column has been messed up. Tires are gone, hubcaps are gone, etc.
I want to rifle through the inside of the car. Glove box. Any?
Yeah. You go through the glove box. The glove box has kind of been ripped down to the point where it doesn't even close anymore, and there's nothing inside. But like, just looks like debris torn up, something or other, pieces of plastic, nothing identifiable.
I don't know if this is actually a thing, but I'm gonna pretend like it is. Like, you know how when like you open a car door, there's always like a little thing that has like the VIN and like everything on it. Like, I'm trying to think if that would have like the year of the car. Just to try to rationalize how.
Jeff
this
doesn't know
looks.
off the top of his head, but we can say that you have the VIN number. That's fine. Derek, would you know? You were nodding your head.
Yeah,
There's usually a sticker that has that information.
Yeah, the sticker would have like the year and a couple of other things besides the VIN.
Okay. It looks to be about 5 years old. Looks to be a what are those things called? The Ford. I can't remember what it's called. Not the Ford Focus. What's the bigger one? What's the dance? Hang on. Fusion. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, I'll like take a picture with my phone of like the little VIN thing, see if I can like look it up or something on like one of those Carfax or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we'll say you can look it up. That's fine. If you're I mean, you're trying to get to see if it was like the Carfax in terms of trying to get like the vehicle history report.
Yeah.
Okay. From what you can tell, it was owned specifically by a rental company, by Budget Rental Car.
I'll just share with Vessel. Like I don't understand. This is a 5-year-old car, but it's not. We just I don't. I'm at a loss for words.
I have a strange sense of deja vu, like I've seen this before. But we should head back.
Okay. Anything
Works
else
for
you wanted
me.
to do, Fawn?
I can't think. I mean, we have exhausted like the interior and exterior of this place, and now the car. So yeah, I think we're good to go back.
So you looked inside the interior, you looked inside a glove box, you grabbed the serial number, and so you're good. You're happy with that?
Did I pop the trunk?
Did you pop the trunk?
I would like to pop the trunk.
She is now.
Yeah. Sure. You pop the trunk and you find inside what looks like some kind of bag, like brown paper bag with the top rolled up, just sitting right there square in the middle of where the spare tire used to be, as it's been ripped out. The floorboard area has been ripped out underneath here. So everything's kind of stripped inside. But you see a fairly well, like in kind of good working order, paper bag.
Vessel, Greg, do you have can you hold my phone flashlight? Like, I don't see what's in here.
Yeah, I'll help you out.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. You open it up, you look inside, and you see a vial. Inside that vial, you see what looks like a familiar piece of plant that you've seen before, and you see crawling over it inside this vial appears to be some kind of small golden beetle.
Is there anything else inside the paper bag?
No, there is not.
I'm gonna give this to Vessel. Did you like eat one of these or something earlier?
I did. It gave me the hallucinations.
well, I don't want to hallucinate here. So let's pocket this, and now we can head back.
Okay. Get back in the car. Start driving. About 10 minutes out from the factory. Stop at a red light. Bright intersection. It's 11 p.m. Maybe a little bit after. There's still people out in the street. Not that many. But it's a bright, busy intersection. You can see cars are parked here and there. Vessel, you look off to the right. And are you driving, Vessel?
Yes.
You look off to your left then, driver's side. And you can see that there is like this group of people that seem to be standing out in front of a bar, club, something like that. You see there's various neon colored lights. Can't quite make out exactly what the name of the place is from your angle. But you see, and you're kind of just watching, staring at them underneath what looks like this orange-yellow light coming down from the neon sign. And as you watch, you realize that all of them are they're moving in kind of these gangly motions. And there's a good 12 of them. They're just, as they're talking, some of them are dressed in, like short skirts, nice clothes. Like you see some of them are wearing what looks like silk button downs. Like they're kind of club goers. And they're just talking, and like some of them are kind of doing that, like some kind of goodnight handshake, hugs, bro hugs, that kind of stuff. And as you're watching, you just notice how all of them, they just go vertically whoosh, up into the air. And they just disappear as if yanked by strings up into the dark night.
It's the same thing that happened at that coffee shop, right?
Yeah. Except I think the last time it wasn't they got woofed up into the air. They just sort of like wandered away.
No idea what it means. But mannequins are around again.
So clearly we're all just puppets. This is she's gonna dramatically like check under her sleeves and just like look at herself and make sure she's still like pinch her skin.
Okay. You pinch your skin, and it hurts. That's about it.
Good to know.
We're going to cut over then to Album, out in the hallway of the Boxer Hotel. You've just run out of the room, 616. You're in the hotel, the hallway. You went left, right, whatever. You're just kind of running away. You hear Chelsea say something, but you kind of keep going, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. As you're running towards where the stairs are, you cross by this intersection, because there's like, a T intersection. There's different routes. You look just like 3 feet off of the intersection, right in front of where the stairs are. You can see that there's a couple people that have gathered right out in front of their room. And as you're watching, 2 of them just start kind of shoving each other. Just one of them pushes, the other pushes back, pushes back. One of them kind of gets the other into kind of like a headlock and is just sort of bringing them down to the floor. And you notice that some piece of kind of like a napkin or something fell to the ground, or a piece of paper, something is on the ground, and they just have the person in their head. They're like, look at it, and the other people that are kind of nearby don't seem to be reacting in any particular way.
Album is just going to ignore it and continue to go down the stairs. At this point, he's kind of like, yep, not falling for that.
Sure. So you get on the stairs. Where you want to head?
He wants to head down to the ground floor, and then he forgot in the moment of Chelsea returning, he's forgotten that he's given his keys to Vessel, and so he's gonna go and like look for his vehicle essentially to like get out of there.
Okay. You push open the door on the first floor, the lobby floor, and you are 5 feet away from two people dressed in identical clothing to the ones you just saw up on the 6th floor. They're pushing each other. They're threatening each other. Headbed, like one of them just kind of reaches out and grabs the other and is trying to shove them down to the ground where this piece of paper's on the ground. It says, "Look at it! You need to understand!" And the other one's just resisting and resisting. You hear like kind of like the neck kind of being scraped a bit. And the one that's pushing down is like, "Look! Look!"
Can Album walk by and pick up the piece of paper without looking at it and then crumple it up, put it in his pocket, and walk away?
Yeah, you pick up the piece of paper, you crumple it, you put it in your pocket, you walk away.
Does that change what they're doing?
You can see that they both just break apart at that point, and they just kind of walk in separate directions.
All right. Yeah, so Album will continue out to the parking lot.
So you go out into the parking lot, and you're at that kind of loop where people drop off their luggage, and you can see over by a luggage rack, you see there's two people that are kind of pushing and shoving each other. One of them stumbles back into what looks like some kind of landscaped area. The other kind of jumps on top of them and kind of tries to roll their head over so they're looking at what appears to be a piece of litter on the ground, and they're just screaming, "Look at it! Look! You need to understand!" over and over again.
With an exasperated sigh, Album will walk over and look down at the piece of paper.
You exasperated sigh, you wander over, and you can see that it is a picture of the yellow sign.
Yep, that's what I thought.
And once you pick it up, the two of them kind of look at each other, let each other go, stand up, kind of dust themselves off. One of them goes inside the hotel. One of them starts wandering off into the parking lot.
He'll take both pieces of paper that he has now and like tear them up so that the sign is unrecognizable.
Sure.
And then if there's a trash waste bin nearby, he'll throw the pieces in there and continue looking for his truck.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a D6, Album.
All right. I got a 1.
Restore 1 point of sanity.
Damn, I wish I would have rolled higher.
Yeah. But you never know. Sometimes it's a bad thing. How's the music volume? Is the music volume too loud? It feels almost like it's too loud to me. So those in chat, if you're listening, if like the music's overpowering our voice, it feels maybe my settings are off or something. But just let me know. So yeah, you're looking for your car, and you see, yeah, you don't see it, and then that's when you start feeling around in your pockets, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, shit.
Okay. Were there any other like locations or landmarks that we've been to before that were near the Boxer Hotel?
God dang it.
I'm trying to think of what would be in walking distance for Album.
Yeah, I'm sorry to do this. I need to actually put a pause in the stream really quick. I gotta help Melissa with something. So yeah, we'll be back in a couple minutes. But we're gonna start with Chelsea. Chelsea, you just got attacked by Album. He just you remember him, but you don't really remember a lot of modern 2015 Album. Most of your memories of him go back to 1995. You realize as you're kind of standing in this room and you're looking around, you're seeing all of these different boxes that are filled with evidence that you recall cataloging and looking through at times from Abigail Wright's apartment. But you have this massive memory block in terms of what you've been where you've been, what you've been doing. You vaguely remember being summoned to Boston. But yeah, you just got a knife thrown at you by Album. You're left in this Boxer hotel. The door to the hall is open. What would you like to do?
My memories are from 1995.
You remember him from 1995. What I'm saying is you don't remember much. Like, you have a vague memory of being summoned to Boston to do a
Okay.
job.
Okay.
But you don't really remember the specifics of the past week. Like, a little bit. It's
Okay.
vague. It's in like the back of your mind.
I'm gonna go and just start finding, like, maybe my bag with, like, my own personal notes and stuff that I've been going, like, that I've had.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give myself just a refresher of, like, what have I come across so far,
Okay.
and, like, what are we doing?
Sure. That sounds good. You have a bag nearby, I'm sure. It's probably recognizable. I don't think that's the type of thing that you would have forgotten. I'm not saying you don't remember anything between 1995 and 2015.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
saying the
But, like,
mission
mission?
itself, you don't
Yeah.
remember the specific details of it. Like, it's fleeting for you. So you're waiting around. You're going through. And as you're kind of sitting down, you move some boxes off of a chair and you settle in. And it's then that you suddenly hear an incredibly loud noise as a gong sounds off from somewhere in the room. It's like to the point where you kind of jerk from the surprise.
Mm-hmm.
You look around, you don't see any sign of origin of it. You're just sitting here like in kind of a corner chair or at the edge of the bed. And then immediately after that, you hear this distant sounds of drums and flutes as if coming from a different room.
Can I identify, like, which direction they sound like they're coming from, or is it just all encompassing?
It's all encompassing, but you know for certain that they are growing closer. Like, it's getting louder and closer. You can feel it, and as it gets closer, you feel this sense of dread, palpable, right? Like, you can feel like the room just beginning to fill with the palpable concept of dread. What would you like to do?
Probably hide in the room, like, maybe, like, move some boxes and stuff around and just, like,
Okay.
get a little hidey hole.
Okay, go ahead and roll stuff. Go ahead and roll
Success,
stuff.
21 over 32.
21. Okay. You're sitting there. You hide behind one of these chairs, move a couple of stacks of boxes, but you still get a good view of the room. And it's then that you see the curtain on the west wall that had kind of been covering that window begins to flutter. What would you like to do?
I look in the window.
Okay. As you start moving over towards the window, you see this thick, syrupy, water-like liquid begin to pour down underneath the curtain, spilling onto the floor. It's like something's dripping from behind.
Mm-hmm. I'll still look. I'll, like, peel the curtain back a little bit.
Okay. As you reach out to start pulling the curtain back, you see a bandaged hand begin to emerge from between the curtains themselves, reaching out as if it's trying to, like, grab the curtain at that point.
I'm gonna go back to my hiding spot and just see what happens.
Okay. You go back to your hiding spot, and you see this hand pushes through in a second and then pulls it apart. And you watch as a figure begins to slowly step out from the behind the curtain, from this liquidy window, this tall, regal figure
Oh,
with golden and yellow robes, some enameled jewelry dangling here and there. You see a kind of a pale yellow mask come right up to like underneath the surface of the water of the window and slowly break. What would you like to do?
Run out of the room.
Okay. As you bolt out from behind the curtain, you can see like one of those bandage hands like quickly comes up as if it's grabbing the mask and is slowly starting to remove it, but you managed to bolt out of the room.
I'm not gonna look.
Yeah, go ahead and roll sand.
That's fair. Failure 28 over 26.
Okay. All right, since you ran, roll actually no, just one sand since you ran.
Okay.
You're out in the hallway. Do you close the door behind you?
Yeah, I slammed that shit shut.
Slam the door shut. Okay. All right. We'll kick over then to Album at this point. Album, you are in the parking lot area of the Boxer Hotel. You just tore up a couple pieces of paper that had the yellow sign on them. And in doing so, it almost looked like there was this like repeating exact argument between two people dressed the same height, same words, that were fighting, one pushing the other down to try to force them to look at that little piece of paper with the yellow sign on it. And you finally picked it up, looked at it, and then they just went their separate ways as if they just wanted you to look at it. And then you tore up the signs and that was it. What would you like to do?
Album will take his phone out and try and get a hold of either Fawn or Vessel.
Okay. Sure. Fawn, you get a phone call. And you can see all of you have got your burners, you're connecting your numbers. I mean, I would be hand wave, that kind of stuff. But yeah, you see a number. You see the number of Album. He's calling you, Fawn, as you're in the car still.
Okay, so I'll answer it and put it on speaker so that Vessel can hear also.
Perfect.
Something's imitating Chelsea and is in this world.
Oh. What do you mean?
A door opened up in the room, and I'm putting up putting up air quotes right now. Fawn, Chelsea walked through the door.
She's alive?
Well, it's interesting that you think that it's really her. No, I don't think that it's her. Something looks exactly like her, but she doesn't know what day of the week it is. She knew me. I threw a knife at her, so hopefully she'll bleed out. I don't know where I hit her.
Did she bleed when you cut her?
I ran out of the room. I don't remember. It hit her. I know it did, but I don't know where.
Well, I mean, I feel like we'll be able to ask some questions and get some information on this.
She didn't know what day of the week it was. It's
So
not Chelsea.
where is she now?
In the room still. I ran downstairs. I wasn't about to get my soul eaten by some like moon creature.
So she might not still be in the room. We should probably try to keep her in the room.
Yeah, get down here and I'll let you do that. I'll do the rounds around the building. I'll keep the perimeter secure, as they say.
And I'll share back the information about the people that were tailing us and kind of what happened with the warehouse of mannequins with our clothes and the car that aged while we were inside.
Okay. Well, I mean, more and more people are looking for us, so that'll make hiding a little bit more difficult. But maybe we can use this fake Chelsea to draw attention away from the rest of us that are actually people. Unless you're not a person. Are you a person?
Are you a person? And Fawn will just sort of toss the phone to Vessel.
Yeah. And Album will say touche and hang up.
Album, what's your alertness?
71.
You notice that there is a family of 4 out in the parking lot that seems to be packing their things into their car. Except as you watch, you notice that like the trunk of this vehicle looks like just some large 4-door sedan. It's up in the back, and like you can see as they're moving some stuff around, you notice that like they're actually taking the suitcases, like a couple suitcases out, and they're just dropping them on the floor, on the ground. And it's at that point you notice that the husband holds his arm out, and then the wife kind of grabs it, steps up onto the bumper, the rear bumper of the car, and kind of ducks and steps into the trunk and starts descending into the trunk like she's walking downstairs. The husband then reaches down, grabs what looks like about a 7-year-old boy, hands it over, and you can see arms like reach up, grab him, and just pull him down into the trunk. And then a small, like maybe 3-year-old girl does the same, and then he climbs up, the father, onto the bumper, climbs into the trunk, and slowly closes the trunk behind him.
Would I be able to run up and prevent the trunk from being closed? Or is it too far?
It's too far. It's like at the other end of the... This all happens kind of fairly quickly.
Gotcha.
But there are some looks like are some like suitcases and stuff sitting on the ground outside.
Yeah, Album will walk over there and look through the suitcases and worry about the trunk later.
So as you go to open up one of the suitcases, your phone rings, and you look down, and it's got Fawn's number on it.
Hello?
And you hear, hello? And it sounds like your voice.
Who is this?
Hello? You
Yes,
still there?
Who is this? I'm still here. Who is this?
Are you still there? They're all waiting for you. They're all waiting for you. As the pitch just gets higher and higher. They're all here, Agent Album. They're all here waiting for you. Higher and higher to the point where I can't do the voice anymore. As it's keep continuing to say it, and then suddenly they just break into over and over in your ear.
He'll try and attempt to say, "Where is here?"
You know, away here. Through. The only way out is through.
How do I get through?
How do I get through? How do I get through?
Album will hang up the phone.
Go ahead and roll sad too.
No, I laugh in his face or her face.
And the voice you hear, by the way, as you're like kind of asking it questions and laughing back at it, you hear it shifts once more at the end, and it's just goes from that strange high-pitched sound to this chugging machinery, almost like it's just machinery. And then you hang up the phone. Okay, you crack open the suitcase still, or do you do something else?
Yeah, he'll go back to the suitcase and think, all right, maybe I go through the trunk, or maybe that's the sign.
Okay. So you crack. Which one do you do? Do you want to crack open the suitcase, or you want to try to break into the trunk?
No, he'll go for the suitcase first. He wants to see if there's like any ID or anything.
You open up a suitcase, and it's filled with loose pieces of paper, like full 8.5 by 11 prints. Looks sort of like photocopies. And you notice that every single page has a green triangle at the top.
Isn't that the Delta Green symbol?
It looks like a Delta Green operation briefing.
I'll start skimming them.
Okay. You notice as you start flipping through them that they're all the same operation. You're not sure that these are different pages, but you notice that the operation is Operation Bristol. You see that there's a lot of handwritten stuff, typewriter entries. This is definitely not something that was word processed. Old. This is an older file. As you start flipping through it, you see it's August 30th, 1955. New York City. and it seems to describe what is apparently the reference, the specific word that's used over and over again is outbreak. And it's an outbreak of insanity and bizarre deaths of a series of actors, audience members. And as you're reading this, the paper literally catches fire and begins to burn kind of from the top down as you're reading through it.
Can I pick up another one and continue where I left
Yeah,
off?
you let go and you pick it up and you see the thing, it almost kind of catches you in your finger and you kind of keep going through. As you're reading through, you're doing this as fast as possible, but it just keeps burning and burning and burning and burning. But you're
Can
able
I take
to
a picture of one?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll try that.
Yeah, you take a picture, and you quickly get your phone out, try to snap a couple shots, but the whole time they're just kind of burning and burning and burning away. But a couple extra little bits of things that you catch. One is a reference to an off-Broadway play called Her Grey Song. There's a reference to Red Book that you would know is likely a copy of the King in Yellow that you all have heard about and seen before. And it was an open and close off-Broadway play. It opened on the 30th and closed on the 30th. And apparently there was some kind of Delta Green operation. An Operation Bristol was its name. Let's see if there's anything else you would have gotten. As you continue to read, you read about something called, like, you keep going and you see some of the pages at the bottom of this kind of burning suitcase now that's almost caught on fire completely. Something referencing what's called static protocol. Specifics of which aren't clear, but it references 4 names: Eric K. Carter, Virgil Griffith, Ronald Burback, and then a name that you are, and only you, are familiar with: Frederick Colwell. And apparently they were dispatched to clean the Operation Bristol team. Vessel Fawn. You pull into the parking lot of the Boxer Hotel. You see that there is a man that has a couple suitcases open, and there's a fire. Like they're caught, these suitcases are caught on fire. And as you kind of turn around and find a parking space, you see it is Album, who is frantically trying to partially take pictures, partially read something. His hands are burning here and there. He's like kicking out flames when his clothes get caught.
Rush
What did
over
you
to help him.
Okay,
Yeah,
you rush
absolutely.
over. Yeah. You rush over and you see that there's 3 suitcases, one fairly large, 2 that are much smaller, and they've effectively are entirely on fire at this point.
Maybe there's like a nearby emergency fire extinguisher.
You probably have to run inside, yeah. But you can get one if you wanted to run inside.
Okay, I'll run inside and get one.
Okay, you run inside, come back out. Moments later, you manage to spray it all down. But by the time you do it, like, everything's just burned to shit at that point. Like, you saved the suitcases mostly. But all you see inside the suitcases, Vessel and Fawn, is just ash.
Right, what's going on here, Album?
Album will dramatically look over, look at his phone, and then say, I think I already know the answer to this, but look at this picture that I took. And he'll try and show them the picture he took of the protocol thing.
Okay. You take a look at the picture, and it's a splayed open suitcase with a bunch of clothes and stuff inside of it.
Are these yours? What are you doing with them?
What do you see, or Vessel?
It's just clothes.
That's what I thought. Okay. Okay. Here's what I saw. So, and he relays the Operation Bristol, the date, and kind of like everything he read, and then deletes the photo and says, "Yeah, it's one of those things." I also watched a family of 4 descend into this trunk here. I was also thinking of taking a vacation, so if we could break this open, I'll get down there.
And Fawn's gonna kind of interrupt when you're talking about the date. and say, when I was waiting in the car and Vessel was in the store, I saw a playbill for her gray song on August 30th, 1955. So I saw the same thing. But
Yeah.
then it was a new sandwich shop flyer.
Yeah, I mean, anything that makes us look crazy is in the best, is in someone else's, like, it's in their side of the court, make us look crazy. It's interesting that it was only open on the 30th and closed also on the 30th. Too bad we don't have any Delta Green ref or correspondence we could call and ask them about it. I feel like if we call them, they're just gonna want to kill us.
So do we want to deal with the trunk, or do we want to deal with the Chelsea in the room?
You can deal with Chelsea. I'll deal with the trunk.
Yeah, we brought the ritual things. Let's head up there.
Yeah, I don't know if you need them anymore. Something's either using her husk or I don't know. It looked just like her. It bled just like her. I've seen her bleed before, so.
I'll head up there.
Okay, Vessel, Fawn, you head up. Album,
Yep.
you stay back to try to break into this car.
Fawn will try
Chel-
to convince Album that you might just want to come with us. It's probably better for us to be together.
There's a trunk cellar though. You don't come across those. They're rare.
Or just like there were papers in the suitcase.
Like there were tickets to a show.
So maybe we should stick together and not just go on what we think we see.
All
'Cause
right, but when
we're
Chelsea goes from
alone,
my soul first, I blame you, Fun.
I will step in front of you. Does that make you feel better?
Maybe I could run away. All right, let's go.
All right.
Chelsea, when you left the room, when you ran out, where or what would you have done?
So if I had time to look through my notes, then I would, and especially considering that when I woke up, I was repeating the mantra, find my bottle. I'm going to try and get into the basement of the hotel.
Okay. Yeah, you would have maybe had 3-4 minutes to flip through. You wouldn't have had much time, but you would have gotten a few things here and there.
Okay.
That's fine. So do you want to take the elevator? Do you want to take the stairs? Does it matter?
Do I know if this is one of those like fancy elevators where there's somebody like an associate inside?
I would say that if you just kind of peek down the hallway, you don't see that to be the case. No.
Okay, then I'm gonna take the elevator.
Okay. You're riding down the elevator by yourself. When you suddenly hear a voice, male voice, you look around. You're not in the room. You're not in here with anybody else. It's just you. Some mirrors, you can see yourself. There's no reflection in the mirror to suggest there's anyone hidden here. Kind of put your hand up maybe towards the emergency speaker. There's like no vibrations. The sound's not coming, but you just hear a male voice. Very, very distinct. A voice that sounds vaguely familiar, but you can't place exactly whose it is. But as they talk, it almost sounds like they're on like a bad connection, like a telephone is breaking up here and there, and you can hear the phrase "start." You hear him say, "Start with Devoris. Start with Peter Devoris," and then just begins to list this litany of names, like dozens of names, and then you hear a ding of the elevator. Elevator opens up onto the lobby, and the voices stop.
Okay. Presume I have my smartphone on me at least.
Sure.
I'm gonna Google Peter Devoris while I just stay in the elevator.
Okay.
Because what are the
You had a
options?
bunch of others too. I just wasn't going to list them all because too many names
Yeah.
at once is overwhelming. But yeah. Okay. You stay in the lobby. You start searching. Get your phone out. You're going one after the other. You start cross-referencing names, searching for them at the same time, searching for them differently, that kind of thing. While this is all happening, at a certain point, like you see a man like run inside. You look over. By the time you see him, he's running back outside. Kind of, he's like, fire extinguisher, grabs it and runs.
Mm-hmm.
You think you recognize him as Agent is Agent Vessel. And you the last time you're certain you saw him, the last time you engaged with him was 1995 in New York. But for some reason you think you've encountered him more recently. But as you're going through the phone and looking at these names, you realize that they're all names of missing or murdered children who died between 1921 and 1950. And most of them seem to be linked to the presumed and missing child killer, Asa Darabandi.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna freak me out a little bit. So when I was in the elevator, was there even an option to go lower than the lobby?
No.
No. Okay. I'm just gonna kind of sit in the
It's not
lobby.
an employee elevator though.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon.
I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna like just kind of like look around to see like what looks like is employee points of access, if there's a lot of employees around.
It's late at night. It's probably, I would say it's about 10 o'clock at this point.
Okay.
And you're like kind of standing there looking around, trying to get, and then the doors behind you open. You look around and you can see Vessel, Fawn, and Album walk into the lobby of the Boxer Hotel.
Considering Album stabbed me, I'm not gonna immediately approach them. I'm going to head towards the closest like employee looking area that looks empty.
What do you mean employee looking area? I don't understand what you mean.
So like if there's like a hallway that has like employees only or like a door or something.
Yeah, right behind the main lobby desk. There's somebody working there at the desk though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the only one I see though.
Let's see. Lock chest. Yeah, that's the only one you see from where you're positioned. There's
Is our
hallways
alertness high enough to even
Your
notice
alertness
her?
is all high enough. Yeah, you notice her. She's not like hidden or anything like that.
No.
Okay, so then Album will sarcastically like kind of point and say, "There's the doppelganger."
Let's go see what this is about. I will approach.
Okay.
I'm just
Chelsea, is that you?
What? Obviously.
Do you know who we are?
And like you'll see me like quickly like scanning like the front desk at the Boxer Hotel.
No, do you know who we are?
Yeah, we were on that mission in 1995.
That was 20 years ago.
I hit my head a little hard apparently, but like
Do you know what we're doing here?
I presume something green, considering we're all located together.
Album just whispers into Fawn's ear, "Kill her now."
This seems like Chelsea, but
What have you been doing the last couple of days?
I woke up and I came out into the room and then Album stabbed me. What do you mean?
Like before that? And Fawn is also going to look around and just say like, can we go upstairs and not have this conversation just in the middle of the damn hotel lobby?
I don't think we should go back into whatever room we were in. This dude crawled out the wall and he was like glowing in yellow.
Oh. I still don't think we should be out here though, because our pictures are all over the news. So, and she'll look at Album and kind of be like, Album, do you promise not to stab her again?
No.
Fair. But I'll try to keep him from stabbing you. Can we go upstairs, please?
I think we should go into the basement myself.
Why?
I just knew that I need to find my bottle for some reason. And then I was looking through my notes before the yellow guy popped out, and I had notes about the basement.
Do we think there is a basement?
And I'm gonna herd us
There's
into the
more
elevator.
than likely a basement. So, Vessel, your alertness is the highest of the group, I believe. But other people have very high alertness too. You notice that several cars are starting to pull up out front of the hotel. Cop cars. Not just one, not just two, but 3, 4. You see a giant, like, tactical SWAT type van pull up as well. It's when you start to look around and you realize that the person who's behind the lobby has, like, you're like alerted by the slamming of the employee only door as they slam the door, and it's when you realize there's nobody else in the lobby but the 4 of you.
I say we go to the magic room. They can't get us there.
All right, we'll hurry up. We're already surrounded.
Okay.
So Fauna's gonna sort of kind of do that thing where she sort of has an arm behind Chelsea and is sort of like hurting her towards the door. Like not touching her, but moving her in the direction of the elevator.
We need to get to 616. They can get to the basement. I don't think can get to 616. No one
Why-
knows it exists.
Why
Do you
are
wanna
the
deal
cops
with-
after us?
Listen, Soul Eater, do you want to deal with real world guns or supernatural stuff that you might be able to get your way through?
And she's not.
Vessel,
even
you see
dignified
4
with the
cops
response.
moving to the front, moving up to
Yeah,
the glass.
no,
to the front.
we're-
They're like
we're
hurry.
To the elevator.
We're in the elevator. We're heading
We
up.
are? I don't know. I was
Yeah.
getting like different. Okay, you're in the elevator? Okay. You pop in the elevator. Sure. Okay. You see
better
like
go
very,
on
very
over.
slowly the elevator's like 1, 2, 3, and then suddenly you hear the fire alarm go off and the elevator comes grinding to a halt between floors 3 and 4.
See if
Vessel.
we can open those doors up.
Vessel, as you're standing here inside this elevator, it's got mirrors all around it. You can see that the walls in the elevator are beginning to kind of ripple a bit as you kind of lean against it here. Somebody else leans. No one else notices this, just you. You just see like little ripples here and there.
Guys, if we're
Like
stuck
like
here, I think I
soft
know a way out.
droplets of rain on like a lake or something like that. Go ahead.
If we're stuck here, I think I know of a way out. But
Yeah.
first, let's see if these doors open up at all.
Sure. You can give it a try. Do you have any tools or anything on you? Or are you just going to use your
Yeah, what was that?
big, strong
that
hands?
ritual bag that we bought. Was there anything fancy in there?
You have a
I have a-
ritual sword, but it's not like a real sword.
I have a claw hammer
like
and
a
a
crowbar.
flathead screwdriver.
Did you bring it with you? I don't remember. Would you have brought it with
Those are-
you as you ran out of the room?
I don't know. I have them listed under the weapons thing from way back at the Dorchester house, and I know that they came back with me when we like teleported to that random house. So I don't.
It's really just it's Delta Green. It's not a case of like if it's just do you think Album would have picked that stuff up and ran out of the hotel room with it?
The screwdriver, yes. The hammer, no.
Okay, sounds good to me. You have a screwdriver on you. Yeah. How do you want to go about trying to bust these doors open?
What about? Isn't there like an emergency hatch on like the roof?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, you look up and there's a very small hatch up there. Mm-hmm.
I'll give somebody a boost, Spawn. Get up there.
I'm trying to keep in mind the fact that we're like 57. And
Yeah.
we're like not.
Guys, we're all nearly 60 years old.
Yeah, like this is gonna go awkwardly.
Doug's on the
Uh,
floor.
I'm just leaning against the wall.
Okay. Well, someone tell me
mean,
what we're doing. I've heard
we can try-
climbing out. I've heard trying to break the door open. What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, Vessel can try to boost me up and just see how that goes.
Easy enough. No roll to that. You're just boosting somebody up, and you climb up onto the top of the elevator. It's tight. If any of you, if any of you had, all of you are in decent shape. I think. I don't think anyone is in terrible shape. So I think no issues.
It's a tight squeeze for fun.
It's a tight squeeze. It's definitely a tight squeeze. But yeah, you get up onto the roof of the elevator, which shakes a bit, a little nervously as you get up there. And you can see
How
that there
close are we to like a floor?
you're between the 3rd and the 4th floor. So you're about 8 to 9 feet up. You can see what looks like the, or not even, maybe not even that much, but like you can see the ledge where the door would open to the 4th floor.
Do you see like a shaft ladder?
Do you see a shaft ladder? That's a good question. Let me. I had a cousin who was a professional elevator installer. You do not see a proper shaft ladder. You see some handholds. You're not sure how good they look, though.
Fawn's gonna give it a whirl.
Okay. Yeah, you climb up, and you're at the yeah, it's not hard. Like it's just a little nervous. Like they're just handholds, and so you're kind of climbing up.
Anybody got
You-
a tool or something I can try to jimmy this open?
I have a screwdriver, but I don't know if it's gonna help.
Come on up. Can he boost you up?
Yeah, I'll
I'll... Yes,
Okay.
I will attempt to assist.
So you boost Album up to the top of the elevator. Album, you start climbing. It's at that point, Chelsea, Vessel, inside the elevator, you feel it shimmy and slowly begin to descend. As it's coming back down the lobby floor. Fawn and Album, you are kind of clinging either to the handholds on the side of the elevator shaft, or like you're in that little frame and kind of balancing yourself. But it's a little precarious, but you watch as the carriage of the elevator starts to descend.
This is why
then-
you always take the stairs.
We're gonna quickly try and climb up then.
Okay. Who's gonna go last? Because whoever goes last, I'm gonna want a test.
I'll
But
go
because
last.
whoever's getting a boost is no big deal.
Yeah, I'll come up.
Okay. So just give me athletics. Whoever's coming up last. So I think that's Vessel.
Yeah, athletics.
Yep. We had bits tonight. You have a reroll if you want to
Why
use it.
you failed?
Do you have
Yeah.
a reroll?
Oh, yeah, let's rerolls.
Yeah, go for it. You're gonna get a crit fail. No, okay. That's all that happened
Not
last
bad.
night in our visit game. We had so many crit fails last night in our visit game. Okay, you managed to kind of just leap up, grab the edges, and just pull yourself through. You see Chelsea's already kind of climbing up the handholds and footholds of the side elevator shaft, and you start doing the same thing over and over. Okay. Meanwhile, Melissa had to step away, give our dog her meds, so she'll be back in a second. Album, you are by the door, so why don't you take lead here? Like, what do you want to do?
So is there any I know sometimes some elevators, I don't know how old, have like a physical wheel or something that you can crank to manually open them. Is there anything like that?
No, this looks like renovated elevators. Like the hotel is older, but this definitely looks like they've modernized the elevator system.
Okay. Yeah. So then he'll just try and take the screwdriver to jam it between the doors and then push it to get some initial leverage, so he can get his hands in there to do the rest of the work manually.
Sure. I'll say, do you have any kind of engineering skill? Otherwise, you can just roll strength or something.
I mean, no, just physics and then electronics. I don't
Yeah,
think
if
I
this
have
this
any-
sounds like you're just kind of physically trying to just force it
Yeah.
open. If you had engineering, we could make the argument that you're trying to find a weak point or whatever. But yeah, just roll a strength. Strength times five.
Alright. Oh, I'm feeble. I forgot about this. I
Okay.
failed.
Yeah, you're struggling. Fawn, do you want to lend a hand? He's just trying to physically open, and you can see Album is just like old man screaming.
Oh,
Critical failure.
Fawn, you have a
reroll
reroll.
strength tests?
Yeah, you can reroll attribute tests, which strength test would be, or skill test. You can't as long as we have the bits to do it, which we do.
Right, just
Yeah,
not
we're
luck.
Extremely generous
Okay.
tonight.
All right, 74 under.
All right, that's
80
good enough.
success.
Just one between the two is fine. As Fawn, you reach over to try to lend a hand. You kind of dig your fingernails your fingertips into like the wedge between the door, and you just start to pull, and you get it open just enough that you can kind of flip the screwdriver and just put like the nub end, and that kind of keeps it open. And at that point, you can see Vessel and Chelsea are starting to crawl up, and between the rest of you, you're able to push it open, find a release lever, and it just opens up.
Which floor are we on then? Was it the third? Or
This
the
is
fourth?
the fourth. This would be the fourth
Okay.
because you went up.
Okay. Album's like, we have no time to waste. We need to find a staircase and get up to 6. They're going to be on us.
You step out into the fourth floor, and you hear the sounds of footsteps, like boot steps, like multiple kind of moving around, and you hear all of you again. Many of you have high enough alertness for this, but you hear the sounds of kind of like communication, and some of you, like Vessel especially, you recognize what sounds like a tactical unit communicating with each other. There's somebody already on this floor. They're not in full vision of the elevator yet, but they're near enough that you can hear them. What do you want to do?
See if we can navigate the floor, just like past them, or they're not already at the stairs.
How about this? Who's got the lowest stealth? I want to have 4 rolls. That's excessive.
39.
32.
25.
All right.
Oh.
Go ahead and roll stealth for us, Album. Okay.
Yep, that's a 97.
You start trying to carefully like slide down the right hallway, because from the left and around a corner about 5 doors down is where you heard the voice coming from. And right as you start to move, you can see behind you, Vessel, just pulling around the corner, 2 what looks like SWAT team members kind of pull around the corner, and you hear them just kind of shout out, "Get down to the ground, freeze!" Just shout out at the 4 of you.
Yeah, we're running.
You're running? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Gotta book it up the stairs.
Okay. They're going to take shots. They have guns. So, 1 sec. I'm just going to see who this is going to
It's
attack.
definitely Americans shooting at psychiatric patients.
Violent psychiatric patients.
That is what is on the news. That is
One
how
of
we
these
described.
is going to target Chelsea, and the other is going to target Fawn.
Great.
Wow,
Oh, no.
sexist too.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I rolled a 1 and a 4. It was 1-4. That's what it is. But that's what it is. Sorry. Okay. 1 sec. Let me pull up their stat block. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. I got to pull up the stat block. I didn't think they would come to be shooting.
This is why you always take the stairs. I should have mentioned it, but I just went along with the group, going in the elevator. We already know elevators are controlled by Big Elevator Corp, and they're just in the
Big
Elisa's pocket.
Elevator
Big
Corp.
elevator corp. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, if we were younger and more spry, we could have climbed up the inside of the elevator to the 6th floor, but I don't know that would be us.
40% I need on both of these shots, just so you know. So first one on Chelsea.
I'm rolling dodge.
Critical fail.
He shoots himself in the foot.
And then 37 is the one on Fawn.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Sure.
So the critical fail, we'll start there. So the critical fail, they both turn the corner, they both say freeze, they unload, but as the guy turns the corner to go to fire, you can see the barrel of this gun, when they're not handguns, by the way. This is like looks like a carbine of something, a bigger rifle, like assault rifle type. And it kind of curves around, and the barrel of the gun kind of gets caught, and it looks like a sconce on the side of the wall. And as it fires, it just rips through one of the walls, and it kind of loses control of the gun briefly. Whereas the second one does in fact hit Fawn. Let me double check what its damage was.
There's
So
dodge
this is-
rolls, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Isn't there dodge you can do?
Can you dodge a bullet? I think you can dodge and dive to cover, right? Yeah. Go ahead and roll dodge if you want to roll dodge. So the dodge skill test to get out of the way of an attack. Opposed test pits your agent's dodge skill against the attack roll. And if your roll overcomes the attack, your agent avoids harm. And remember that you need a pass, and your roll needs to be higher than than the 37.
There it is. Success, 19.
But it needs to be higher than the 37.
Well, there's
That's
no way
physically
that I can
impossible,
because I have to
then.
go because 30
Okay.
was my stealth, so I have to roll under to pass.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, you can always elect not to dodge at that point. But yeah, remember it's like it's blackjack rules. So you pass, but higher is better.
That's so
Okay.
weird.
I think it makes perfect sense though. But it took me a
I mean, I
second
don't have a high dodge,
to think
so,
about it
like,
for it to make perfect sense. Because it means that the higher your skill, the greater the chance you have of defeating somebody with a lower skill.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, but it takes a second. You know, I agree with you because I'm like, why isn't lower better? Yeah, but like, yeah, it's okay.
No, just because I'm more of like because it's physically impossible for her to do it. Then
Which I probably should.
58-year-old woman getting shot at in a hallway by a professional
Yeah.
SWAT team member. I'm okay with
Not
that
really
not
dodging
being a
bullets.
possibility.
Yeah. So where do I get shot?
So you're gonna take some damage here. This is a does not appear to have lethality on it. That's surprising. Does have armor piercing.
Yeah, I don't have any armor.
Okay, it's a D12.
Oh no.
not
don't have that
lethal.
much
Does
health.
D12.
I don't
Okay,
have that much health.
it's all good. You'll be fine. Oh boy, 6 points of damage right in the middle.
Well,
Oh.
okay then. I
How
have
does
less
that hit
health
you?
than I have willpower. Less willpower than I have sand.
Okay, so these cops turn around and they fire, and you can like Fawn, you hear her yelp a bit as she gets hit. Chelsea, you don't even have to dodge or anything like that, but you all are running forward and you're running specifically for the stairs. And so at this point, we'll say like, yeah, you bust the door open to the stairs as you all start moving in, unless there's something else that you all wanted to do. Is there something else that you wanted to do? Like, this is essentially your round. I'll say somebody can drag Fawn. It's fine. But
Is there a fire extinguisher in the stairwell?
roll a luck test there, Album.
Top of the sheet.
Oh, I was just doing
it's
the
been a while.
D100.
That's fine too. It's 1 to 50 is a pass. 51 to 100.
We've
is
got
a-
some
is a
lag.
fail.
It took like 20
I was about to
seconds
say,
for
okay,
mine
yeah.
to show up. Yeah.
Okay, then you
Yeah, we
might
got
see
some lag
3
tonight.
rolls.
We'll just count the lowest one, right?
Yeah, no, that was
Is that
to
how it
count the
works?
first one, but
Triple advantage.
Yeah, I just got to be patient.
Still
I noticed
nothing,
the same
huh?
thing. I heard.
Maybe
the
you should
roll.
just pick a number between 1 and 100.
Oh
there we go.
God.
Wow.
Wow, that's a roller coaster. But your first roll is a 41. Yeah,
Okay.
first roll is a 41. Right after my damage roll, I see your 41, and then 98,
Okay.
then 55, then 22, then 12. You rolled 5 times.
A little bit of everything.
well, I pressed. Yeah. Whoops.
Okay, we'll say there's a fire extinguisher. Yeah, right as you, right by the door to the stairs.
Okay. So Album is just going to. He's going to like try and puncture it with his knife and just throw it at the doorway to like create a big smoke screen.
Yeah, I like that. So like, yeah, you're kind of in the doorway. You just sort of stab at the top of the fire extinguisher until it kind of breaks and starts venting, and you throw it back out into the hall. Vessel and Chelsea, what are the two of you doing?
If Fawn needs assistance, I'll just help her along. We'll keep going up the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
just gonna keep hauling ass.
You're just gonna go. Okay, we're just ready.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. All right. Vessel and Chelsea. I'll say Chelsea because Chelsea, you're the only one who's because Vessel specifically got a arm around Fawn, kind of helping her as she's sort of kind of tending to her hip where she's gotten hit. You can hear you can hear bootsteps below you. Vessel, Chelsea, excuse me. As you can hear the sounds of people calling to one another. You can hear somebody shouting out, 4th floor stairwell, 4th floor stairwell. They're literally in the stairwell right now.
Great. Yeah. Is there like a vending machine in the stairwell? Like
No, not
at
in
one
the
of the
stairwell.
landings? Okay. Then I'm just gonna keep heading up because I don't have anything.
Okay. All right. And so you guys are just running up the stairs at this point. Okay, let me roll a couple things. Oh my god, you're right. This lag is really bad. I'm just gonna pick my number. Can I just pick my number?
No.
I'm gonna pick a 33. Is that a cool number to pick? Crit success. Yeah. Okay.
Jeff rolls
So-
a 33 now.
Oh,
There we go. All right. I did roll a crit fail though with an 88. Okay, you hear shouting from the other side of the door, Album, as you're kind of waiting there, and the other side of this now clogged hallway filled with the residue of the leaking fire extinguisher, and you can hear them like kind of stumble to the ground, and then a shot go off, but it kind of seems to miss. Looks like you've kind of delayed the two of them. When you turn back, you can see that the rest of your party has already started to run up the stairs. They've kind of gone up, and they're back up the next. They're ahead of you technically because you had to stay back to do this. And you can see now the tops of the heads of these guys in SWAT uniforms. So you see like kind of the rounded helmet as they're coming up, and they're moving up fast. What would you like to do?
So Album will start running up the stairs, and can I take out the little, this I did keep on me, that little like electronics disruptor thing? I want to try and take out their ability to like communicate over their walkies.
Okay, so you start moving up. I mean, we never really defined specifically what this does, so I'll just say roll your check for this and see if you can kind of get the right, frequency. Like maybe it's like you're scanning. It's like a signal jam or something like that. You're scanning the frequencies to figure out what they're on or something like that.
Would this be microelectronics or like electronic security? Or...
Take the microelectronics, I guess.
Okay.
Or, the one that you actually did the work on because you specifically spent time to develop it. So we should reward that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, it'll go through in just a moment.
Yeah. So how's everybody else doing? You doing all right? As we wait for the roll
You
to come
shot
through.
me.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
These are violent people that have no basis in reality. Let's shoot them with guns.
It's not going to be the last time, Melissa.
Hey, that's an 18.
And
So
you do
what
manage.
Album wants
Yeah,
to
you do
try
manage to
and-
do it.
What he wants to try and do is just like say with as much like authority as he can. They smoked out the 4th floor. They're on the 4th floor, to try and like get them to all buy into that and not be able to communicate with each other. And then he's just going to keep going up.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't hold it up and be like, I have a bomb.
Well, just shoot me. I have a bomb, okay?
It's the brownstone bomber. Oh god.
Oh no.
I'm gonna make our bones on this arrest. I think I'm gonna want a persuasion test on that though.
Yeah.
I'll give
That's
you
exciting.
plus 20 though because.
Okay.
Well, actually, you're just shouting it out, right? You're just shouting it out. I'm
Yeah,
gonna give you
like
a plus
down
20
at them.
because there is like the the fire extinguisher is kind of leaking through the door at that point, so it is there. I'll give you plus 20.
Okay. I clicked it, but I didn't add the 22 before, so it'll be. Oh, that's a 2.
Ooh.
I am the
Okay.
most authoritative commanding officer.
And you just hear and you just hear them kind of echo what you're saying. 4th floor. As you start moving upwards. Vessel, Fawn, Chelsea, you're up to the 5th floor at this point. What do you want to do?
Trying to make it 6.
Yeah.
Just want to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
What Fawn
Yeah.
wants to look at as we go, since Vessel is helping, if it's possible, to try to look and see if she's like dripping blood, to try to like take off like a jacket, just to make sure that she's not like, hey, this is where we went. And she's like, drawing blood.
I would say you're not dripping blood. We'll say you kind of got shot in the hip. It hurts, but your clothes are kind of welting up a bit. But we'll say that you're not exactly dripping as long as you're kind of holding it. It's more if
Yeah,
you
that's
move
what I
your
wanna do.
hand out
That's what I
away, then your hand might drip because it's covered now.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, you'll move up to the 6th floor. Album, you get to the 5th floor. You hear the door open. As you're on the 5th floor, though, Album, your alertness is high enough that you see the handle of the door to the stairwell of the 5th floor begin to turn and kind of open up. And as it opens, you see the barrel of a gun kind of peeking through it as it begins to slowly move up. Go ahead and roll a stealth test.
I am not stealthy.
Door opens up, and as the door is opening up, you can see the guys kind of as the door is swinging, the barrel of the gun is swinging in this kind of the same parallel motion. You can see there's two people now that are stepping out from the 5th floor into the stairwell. You're on the staircase trying to head up to the 6th floor, and they kind of are looking around, and they're like, freeze! That's their turn, however. That is their turn for the action.
They'll just yell 4th floor. They're on the 4th floor.
You hear them shout out, "I got him! He's going to the 6th floor!" As they're shouting out, because they can see you now. Like, you're a fairly recognizable person, sadly. But I don't have the action economy to shoot you just yet.
Okay.
The rest of you can hear all this happening. You're in a stairwell, everything's echoing. You're at the door that goes out onto the 6th floor. What do you want to do?
Fawn's gonna reach into her bag. So I was looking over my gear, and I remember that I had bought a maglite flashlight to have as sort of like a weapon.
Okay.
So I'm gonna kind of go into my bag and kind of hand that to Vessel, because I'm like trying to keep myself from like bleeding and kind of hanging
Sure.
out to him.
I think it's reasonable to assume Vessel probably has a gun on him, though.
Yeah.
I do.
He's an FBI agent.
I'll take
yeah.
over.
He's an- Former.
I'll throw Fawn's like arm over my shoulder and like
Okay.
help getting her up.
Okay. All right. You would know Vessel, though. This is like SWAT unit that's coming and storming through here. More than likely, they are, you know, they got Kevlar on and everything. Like they're decked out. Like you got a gun.
Rude.
Yeah. You got a handgun and a couple old people. So you're at the door to the 6th floor, though. So what do you three want to do? So you got the mag light out. You've switched who's got Fawn, but in terms of your action, what do you want to do?
Tell them to get to the door, 616, the best you can. And maybe I'll just provide some sort of covering fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna look and see if like in the hallway, like once we get out, if there's like another fire extinguisher.
I feel like we're going to that well once too often.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
But we'll say this time, though, you get out near the vending machine. You had asked for one before, and so we'll say there's a vending machine within a handful of feet. So if there's something that you were thinking of messing with that before.
I wanted to push it down the stairwell, but not with.
Oh, no.
with him in the way.
Vending machines, the hotels I'm in, vending machines are usually on the floor, you know, offset away, usually by ice machine, stuff like that. Sometimes in their own
They're
room.
ghetto. They're right next to the stairs, but we're not really in the ghetto.
I'm sorry, I don't stay in
We're in
ghetto
an
hotels.
We're in a
This
hotel
isn't
where
an
the doors
Econo
are on the
Lodge.
inside.
You know.
This isn't an Econo
You see
Lodge.
those ghetto ones, you know.
This is a
Whatever.
historical Boston landmark hotel.
Yeah.
Is
no.
there anything that isn't, like, I'm trying to think, you know, if there's like maybe somebody left in the ice bucket or something that is projectile-ish.
Sure, I'll give you an ice bucket. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, I don't think. Yeah, we'll say that. It's a nice.
Yeah, I
something
just
to
want
distract
something to
them.
throw.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, you scoop up a bunch of ice and stuff into the bucket and you're ready to go. Vessel, are you firing down at these guys?
Yeah, and provide cover.
Rip
there.
it, man. Let's do it. Rip it.
All right. Well, now
One
they
on one.
have license to kill.
Well, they did before. They were shooting at you just
Yeah.
fine.
Success.
You guys killed a bunch of people.
Have you done a reroll
okay.
yet?
Why do you want him to reroll? He was successful.
Oh no, sorry. I missed
21. Yeah, roll your damage.
I was looking at the stealth roll because of
What
the...
is the damage of a medium pistol?
It should be in.
Oh,
the-
1d10. There we go.
Yeah, 1d10. Go for it. No lethality or anything on it.
That's coming through. Got 2 on it.
Okay. You aim down, like you're leaning over the rail. You see Album trying to move up. You see the guns. They're not that far from him, and you just start firing. And they start to try to kind of dodge out of the way a little bit of it. But as you fire down, you can see you hit one of them. But it looks like you kind of get them as they're backing away, kind of right in the side of their chest. You think you might have hit their vest. as they pull back. Album. Go ahead and roll. If you're okay, so Album, what do you want to do? Let's put it that way. They're a couple feet from you. What do you want to do?
Album just wants to sprint into the 6th floor, and while he's passing Vessel, he'll want to say, "Shoot the handle off the door so they can't follow us through it." So he's going for speed at this point.
Yeah, I was thinking I could have prepped to push the vending machine past the door once they both get past, and then like block it off that way.
Yeah, you're gonna need to roll the push-up vending machine though.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I'm gonna attempt.
Sure.
Right.
So
yeah.
we're gonna
Adrenaline
keep it.
does
We're gonna keep it in this
wonderful
order. Album. It is your turn though. So it's Album's turn. Then it's the SWAT guys. Then it's back to the three of you. So Album, what are you doing?
Yeah, so like I said, sprinting through the door to the 6th floor if I can make it on my turn, and then just telling Vessel, shoot the door handle so they can't follow.
Yeah. So you take the distraction that Vessel's firing down causes, and you just bolt and run up the stairs, and the door is still open. Vessel's still hanging right there on the rail. So Vessel, they're gonna actually, one of them's gonna look up and shoot at you. I'm gonna give you some cover here, so you're gonna have like basically armor. We'll call it 3 effectively as you're shooting upwards. I don't know the specific cutoffs as they're trying to shoot up. It's a hard shot. And again, they're gonna need. I'll give them like -20 as they're trying to shoot up. So this is gonna need to be a 1 to 20 to be able to actually hit you on this. I hit the roll. We'll see how it's going. That's 7. That's a hit.
Wow.
Do you want to take it and just use like, again, you have armor effectively from the cover of the railing here. So what that means is going to just flat reduce the damage by 3, whatever I roll in a second.
I'm gonna gamble.
Okay.
Because if I dodge, I can't do an action next turn, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
so,
not even move either.
all right, so 12, D12 -3. And so I'll just put the equation in.
Pretty high chances I survive, but we'll see.
Pretty high chance. Pretty high chance I survive. 2 points of damage total. As you get
gain 1
nicked.
health.
Yeah, you get one on the arm as it just kind of cuts through your arm a bit, probably your offhand, whether it's your left or your right. But then it's gonna come back around to you. What do you want to do?
Take Album's word here. Maybe I shoot the door handle off and head back in.
Okay, you can take a step. You can take a couple steps through the door and just kind of shoot the handle off. Handle falls down. Chelsea, you said you wanted to get the vending machine blocking the door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Fawn, do you want to assist her with that? Okay,
Yeah, I was just gonna
so
say that. I would try.
yeah, Chelsea, why don't you roll athletics with a +20, or strength? Actually, just straight strength. Strength times 5. You can take a +20 on it.
Is
gonna
there
help
just a
with fun.
strength one?
Yeah,
Oh,
just click on
yeah,
strength.
Yeah, under physical.
I always
Strength,
forget
strength
that
times
that's there.
5.
Is Demon Chelsea yoked?
That's a failure.
You haven't used a reroll though, so you still have a reroll if you want.
And wouldn't it be technically 70 since you got a +20?
It would technically be 70.
73. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll,
still a
I'll,
fail.
I'll retry.
Yeah. That will be a success this time. It'll be
56, okay,
56
cool.
over 70. Yeah, okay.
You got a
So-
hernia, but you did it.
So everybody's now on the 6th floor. The handle to the door has been shot off. 2 of you have been shot. The vending machine has been smashed over top of the door itself. That's definitely going to help, but they'll eventually be able to get past it. I'm presuming all of you just are going to run to 616.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You run to 616. The door is there. Open the door. Go inside. Close the door behind you. Room is very much as you left it. Chelsea, you do notice, by the way, that the curtains are been drawn back, closed again. So you don't. So like when the hand reached through and tried to open the curtains, it's no longer that way. But you can still see all of the boxes and stuff that have been stacked up here, and there are a couple of your things that you hastily left behind. But it's all still here as you run back inside.
They're like, what's gonna stop them from just checking every door, like here on this level? Like, what?
With any luck, they can't see this like we couldn't before. There was no 616 originally.
That's the
And
hope.
I don't think they saw us go in here, so it gives us better odds. But either way, it's assured death with the police force. And I mean, I don't think you're actually you, but even if we die to some demon, apparently we just come back as a demon. So I'll take my chances with that. Album will kind of collapse to the floor and catch his breath.
And so Fawn will sort of look at Chelsea at that and just say, so I was asleep when this happened, but you actually died yesterday.
Okay, I'm not dead.
That's our consternation, is that you were dead and now you're here.
Okay, well, we've seen a lot of weird shit today. Like, I saw a big ass dude in yellow come out of this window into the room. Like, are you guys sure you really saw that happen to me? Like, what are we talking about? Like, I was in the elevator heading downstairs, and like the whole time while Chelsea's saying this, she's moving boxes in front of the front door.
Did anyone check the body, by the way? Chelsea's body that was left in the bathroom? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we checked vitals, and I think Fawn, or no, Fawn was asleep. So, but I'm sure we checked vitals. I can't remember if it was Vessel or I.
Yeah, we took a pretty early look on what happened.
Okay.
And then I thought we looked again, like before we left. I thought, like,
Well, you look in the bathroom as you kind of come in, and there is a body in there, but it's like covered in like sheets or something like that. You tried to do the respectful thing and covered it up.
I did see that it was a puppet because when Album was back in there by himself, yeah.
I knew it was somebody. I couldn't remember who did it, but you look over and you can see the dead marionette body of Chelsea laying on the ground in the bathroom. So Vessel and Fawn, this is new information to you. All the while this is happening, Vessel, with you're probably still by the door, you hear like footsteps, like the sounds of boots marching, people shouting on the outside. You hear doors getting knocked open, you hear doors getting knocked on, and you hear clear, clear, clear. And they, as you're listening, they're getting closer and closer to the door and closer, like as if they're moving systematically down the hallway. You do anything with that?
We need to jump through the window.
window?
Wow. And like, I'll pull back the curtains.
You go over the curtain, you pull back the curtain, and it's just stucco wall.
How have we had it show up before? What have we done that makes the window appear?
You guys saw it when I was sleeping.
Go to sleep, Fawn.
You hear another door open. You hear clear, close, Vessel, as they're like 2 doors away from you all.
Vessel, you said you've gone through a mirror once before. How do we do that? Do we say a command word?
No, I just drew the symbol.
Just knock her out. Like, she needs to be out then if we're gonna go through this window if it's while she's sleeping.
I'm not knocking her out on your command, demon. I'll try drawing the symbol on the mirror in the bathroom.
Yeah, when you go over to the mirror in the bathroom, you draw the symbol. You just kind of trace the symbol of the yellow sign. Just a hard, cold mirror, and nothing happens.
It's not working, Vessel. Did I draw it wrong?
Clear! Door right next to you closes. That had to be room 614.
I'll try it then. See if I can replicate what happened.
Vessel, as you walk up to it, Album, you're standing next to him. You see Vessel reach his hand out, and he starts tracing over and over the sign of the yellow the yellow sign itself. And you see that his finger begins to dip into the mirror, dip into the mirror until his whole hand is now in it, and the entire mirror begins to ripple as if it was the surface of a lake. Album, you can roll sand on that, by the way.
Yes. I expected it, but I still didn't expect it.
Chelsea, you'll have to do it too, so you might as well roll it now.
Okay.
Here it is. If they open that door, you
Fail.
better start jumping in.
One sanity from the unnatural.
Okay.
Album is clutching in this chapter with his sand rolls.
So we'll be in the bathroom with the door closed and listen in before.
If they
actually
bust.
get to the room.
Yeah.
Okay. And you carefully listen, and you hear it clear, but it's from the opposite side now. They've bypassed room 616 entirely.
Album will collapse to the
What is
floor
happening?
again, catch his breath. Oh, thank God.
Why the fuck is your hand in the mirror?
It's a portal.
What happened to you guys? You guys think I'm dead? We're stuck at fucking
Chelsea,
portals
we
or
checked your
mirrors now?
vitals. We checked your vitals. I know I'm a physicist, but I'm pretty sure I know how a heartbeat works.
I don't think you can realize that because you look at me like I'm a dead body and I'm not. God, your brain's gone addled with old age. What even were we supposed to be doing here?
What do you mean?
Treat
You've
me
been
like
with us.
I've been in a coma and I just woke up. Like, we have shit obviously that we need to do. We're on a Delta Green mission.
I don't know if I trust you to give you that information. You could be working for someone else at this point.
And like, Chelsea's just gonna look at Vessel and be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Vessel, don't do it.
We've been through a lot through the Dorchester, and we've seen crazy things, unexplainable. And you're one of them.
I'm one of them.
Unfortunately, yes.
And like at that point, she kicks the marionette of herself that's dead on the bathroom floor and just be like, "This is insane. Like, what even are we supposed to be doing? Why did I wake up wanting a bottle? Like, find my bottle."
Do we know the whole bottle thing? Have our characters worked that out? That it's like,
I don't know how much you've worked out, but yeah, you definitely know that bottles are meaningful in some way.
Well, and
going
we
all the way,
know-
going all the way back to the first part of this, you saw the pictures of various people holding bottles, names.
we
on
just
them.
don't know what they're for.
The context of which I don't think you have fully sorted out.
Okay. Yeah. Album will just say, yeah, it's interesting. None of us are craving bottles, so that's why I don't think you're really you. I think the real you is in this bottle, and you're either going to smash it or eat it or something. You could just be an agent of the Yellow King at this point.
That sounds absurd, but
Of course
whatever.
it does.
It sounds
It's-
like you're wasting our time, is what it sounds like.
I got us into this room. You wanted to go to a basement where they could have followed us and riddled us with bullets.
That was before I realized we were wanted.
Dead or alive.
But yeah, but at that point, like, I leave the bathroom, I leave you guys in there, and I go out to the room since they passed us.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you guys are in the room. Everything that has been here before is still here. The boxes from the Abigail Wright apartment, that large kind of clockwork machine that seemed to display your lives, that seemed to, like, with those little curios that were constantly moving about, that's still here. Anything you brought in here, evidence, stuff like that, that's all here.
Yeah, I'm gonna
we'll
spend
put it at
some-
roughly at close to midnight at this point. Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing?
Well, since nobody's telling me anything, Chelsea's gonna spend the time with her notes to fully reacquaint herself with what's happening.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Vessel album. What are you doing? Vessel and Fawn, by the way, are bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
take a
gonna
look
say,
at our wounds, see if we need some patch.
who has the best first aid skill? Mine is at 10, so it's abysmal.
Mine's also 10.
Yeah, mine's 10.
Ooh, Album will start looking for a book on first aid in some of these boxes to see if there's anything that can help us out.
Sorry, I was just checking. Fawn does not have good first aid either. She's got 11. You guys are gonna die.
She's
Look,
got the best out of all of us.
So little violence in this campaign. And who would have thought? Okay. You do not find a book on first aid. I'm sorry to say, no. But yeah, you've got Fawn, Vessel. You're bleeding. You're not. You can look at these things like you got to patch yourselves up.
Oh,
Fawn probably has a bullet in her. Vessel, you probably just had like a bad graze across your arm. Neither of these things are probably going to kill you, but they're going to be painful.
do I have like a cell signal in the room?
Yeah, you've had no problem with cell signal in here.
Okay, Album will just look up how to like bandage a bullet wound.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Sure. So, let's see. What do I want you to do? Yeah, go ahead and roll, because I think it's like is it once a week you can do this? I always forget heals. Hang on one sec. Just looking this up really quick. One of these days, you think I would remember this stuff. I play too many
Once a
games.
week or once a day, I forget as well.
Yeah, it's either once a week or once a day, and it's like a D6, right? If they pass their first aid, right? That's what we'll go with. We'll go with that. Roll your first aid, and I'll give you a plus 20 as you're trying to follow the YouTube instructions for how to remove a bullet.
I just imagine like the peppy upbeat music with like some smiling person. Be sure to like and subscribe. All right, that is actually a success because it would be a 20 under 30.
Okay. All right. So treatment. Just looking it up to double check. Yeah. So 1d4. So stabilizing a wounding character, a successful first aid test. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's fine. Take a d4.
Big rolls for fun. Hi, gosh, damn it.
That's probably the only one
D4?
he would do because I don't think Vessel really suffered a terrible hit. I don't know if I would say he's a.
Is it possible to use rerolls for healing?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Any skill test, any test that's
Okay.
not luck or san, I don't mind you using the audience purchased rerolls.
As a group, do we think this is a good use of a reroll?
Probably.
I think so
Sure.
because
Well,
valuable.
Currently it's at 4.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I will roll more than a 1. There we go.
Yay.
Maximize your dimodomes.
Okay, so the rule is once your agent receives first aid, which is what you're receiving here, on success or fail, you can't benefit from it again until you suffer damage again. So you're stabilizing a wounded character with a successful first aid test. You can do this with Vessel too if you want. But it just means that you wouldn't be able to heal them again or anyone heal again until they suffer additional damage. So it's like initial binding of the wound type of deals. What's going on? There is treatment, but that would require going to a hospital or something like that.
Album does in fact subscribe to the channel after being surprised with the results he got.
As everyone should. Like, subscribe, etc., etc. Follow, whatever. I don't know. Whatever those fucking buttons mean. Okay, so we'll say you've healed up, you've helped out Fawn, you've removed the bullet, bind, and then this is all going to take some time, of course. What's going on? What do we feel like doing? It's late, past midnight at this point. If you've been spending time reading, Chelsea's been reading. Fawn, you've been getting worked on by Album. Vessel, what are you doing?
I'll take a look at the bullet, see if we're actually like it lines up. We're being chased by like SWAT.
Yeah, like you got a pretty bad graze on your arm. It's like it's pretty deep, probably would require stitches, but you know that the bullet itself isn't still in your arm. But it looks like fun.
The one I pull out of Fawn. He wants to see if it's from like the 1800s or something.
Oh no, yeah, you take a look at it. But yeah, it seems to line up with pretty standard police issue.
We do
Whatever
have
that
to
is.
check though. We do have to check.
Yeah.
And I want to make
Just,
sure that
I
everybody-
don't know a whole lot about guns. I'm sorry.
You were hit
Which is
by a
weird that I
musket
love
ball.
Delta Green,
Right.
but yeah.
I want to make sure to share the stuff that we found in the trunk of the car. Like the vial and the bug and the plant and that kind of stuff.
After a certain point, by the way, the sounds of people shouting, slamming doors, opening doors, closing doors, etc. outside goes away, and it becomes quiet. Every now and then you hear a voice come past, and like, still clear. As you think there's still people possibly in the hotel, but maybe not as active as it when you were first here. But yeah, we'll assume you share your info that you found.
Right. So we have that new bug. I
Yeah.
think it's time for another vision.
All right, junkie.
I don't know, because
Trying to
last
remember if I
time it
lost
like compelled
sand.
you to like walk out.
That's true.
We can lock him in the bathroom so he can't walk anywhere. Oh, but then
The
he might get
mirror.
stabbed. Yeah, and he might just get stabbed by something like Chelsea did.
Just hold me back. Don't let me leave, if possible.
You have a gun.
I'll hand you the gun.
Okay.
I'm gonna consume this bug.
You're gonna eat the bug? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like, can we get away with just licking it so we get multiple uses out of it? These are precious commodities.
We just all let's just take a look past it.
Roll sand.
This may not have been a good idea.
It's failure.
Okay.
It definitely wasn't.
You you just chew away on this bug. There's a couple of them, by the way. It's not just one. There's a couple of them crawling up and down this strange plant that you never were able to identify, by the way.
Oh, it's not the hellebore?
Well, yeah, you weren't able to identify, like, was it, oh no, the bug. I guess the bug you weren't able to identify.
Oh.
Yeah, and we just keep eating.
So yeah, this is, so the plant itself is like golden spade-shaped leaves. This actually looks a little different than what you've seen before. But yeah, you eat the bug, you wait around. It's pretty disgusting as you hear it crunch in your mouth. Sadly, doesn't seem to have any kind of effect on you.
This is gross, guys.
We'll say there are a total of, hang on, let me do a little roll. 3 more bugs inside the bag that you picked up.
I go rinse my mouth out.
Okay.
Album?
All right. Okay. So we have all of the evidence that we had back from the 90s before we blew the building to hell. Is there any evidence that we remember from back then that could help us open a gateway to get out of here, or that can help us get through whatever that means? Yeah, unless we plan to just stay in this room for the next week until the police just gives up on this building, I don't know we have to find a way out through the window or the mirror or some other method.
Just want to wait for Fawn to fall asleep and see if it appears.
Okay.
So then I'm just on the other side of the window when you guys get through?
No, we can take
No,
you.
we'll drag you through.
So if she's just normally asleep, she'll probably wake up.
Does it have to be me that's asleep? Because I do have a sleep disorder. So sleeping isn't like a good skill of mine.
I will
Maybe
not
somebody-
sleep with this in the room with us, and he'll look over at Chelsea.
We'll
And Chelsea
just-
just rolls her eyes.
I
Take some pills.
do want to remind you, Vessel, that when you tried to open the door, when you went into that room that was underwater and nearly killed you and Album, you were completely unable to open that door. At one point, the door opened from the other side by what might have been the King in Yellow, but you, Agent Vessel, when you tried to open it, it wasn't a case of this is locked. It just seemed unopenable.
That's it. We trick the King in Yellow by calling that stupid phone again. He opens a door, we jump through the window, run through the door, close it on him. Easy victory.
We have to try something, and that's how we know to get it open.
Are you sure we want to like approach that dude who came out? Cause like, I thought I was gonna die.
Well, you already are dead, so maybe you were just reliving what you've been through.
If you want to die, go ahead.
Chelsea, I'm playing the odds. Guys with guns will not take a chance on us. Something that just has been fucking with us for the past 20 years. We're still here.
That is one way to look at the situation.
I'm not thinking about the guys with guns. We're gonna stay in the room. But mirror versus that, I don't know what's on the other side of the mirror, but it's got to be better.
We can also do that.
So we're going through the mirror.
It appears so.
Okay. We'll all be conscious and at least have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple questions. Are you going to try to rest first? And what are you
Yes.
taking with you?
We'll have to rest in shifts so that no one gets so we don't just get murked while we're asleep. Is there anything useful to us in any of the boxes, like weapons or more like informative items or like items to help with our investigation?
I gave you everything. I gave you access
Okay.
to everything that you would have. We can kind of go back through the new stuff if you've forgotten. So there was an airline ticket that was for someone by the name of Michael Whitwer on June 6th, 2015. That was in the Abigail Wright evidence from her apartment from Las Vegas to Boston. So that was one thing you found. There was letterhead, crumpled up piece of paper for Hotel Broadalbin in New York City that seemed to show some kind of crudely drawn map from a basement to a WL to an XJL bottle, whatever the hell that means. There was a map of the McAllister building, which has since been destroyed, but you can see that it kind of references certain people that you remember. So like Castaigne, the parlor where you encountered Rourke, dead guy in a mask, man with briefcase and white shoes, etc., etc. So you can see like a kind of someone's hand-drawn map of the McAllister. There was a receipt for July 3rd, 1995, from Abigail Laura Wright for $850, 1 month's rent, apartment 10B, and then the signature. Hang on one sec. The signature is almost illegible. You're not sure if it actually says Abigail Wright at all.
Now, Jeff, this date is after she disappeared. Is that correct?
One sec.
Like her date of disappearance in '95.
Yeah, she disappeared in like late May, if I recall correctly. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm
since
looking
we've
through my
dealt with it,
notes.
but yeah.
She went missing June 1st, and her father reported it June 4th, and it's
There you
now
go.
August, so she's been missing for 2 months.
And the date is July 3rd, 1995.
Yeah, so there's a receipt after she disappeared. Interestingly, though, the number on the receipt is 30/08/1895, and the date of the play was 30/08/1955.
Yeah, like 60 years later.
Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, the handwriting looks relatively recent, but the receipt definitely looks. The receipt also looks incredibly old.
Oh,
It doesn't look
shit.
like something you would do in 1995. This looks like a decades old kind of receipt style.
Yes.
August 30th, 1985. It was Derek finds the typewriter entry for Operation Bristol. That's the same day as Operation Bristol.
1955 for Operation
Was
Bristol.
it 55?
Yeah, 1955.
We make out what that signature is on the receipt.
No, the signature looks like it's illegible. The name. I mean, you look at it and like you're not sure if that says Abigail Wright or not. It's doesn't make sense.
Is there like a test or like a skill check we could do?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No, it's just illegible. And then the last thing, there's the symbol, the yellow sign, and then there was sheet music as well. So the sheet music, it's a series of dots on lines scribbled in what looks like an unsteady hand, and beneath the notes you can see written lyrics of some kind. Let the dawn surmise what we shall do when this blue starlight dies and all is through. Does anyone have art music?
No, but
No.
interesting fact for everybody: Abigail lived in apartment 1A, not what the receipt says.
Fuck.
What is 10
Do you also remember how many floors there were in the McAllister building?
2, correct?
What's
There
the
was ground
apartment?
floor, first, second.
Oh,
What's the
okay, so
apartment number?
And
10.
Oh,
Sorry, I spoke over you. Long, would you say?
I was wondering if like it showed that on the blueprint at all, or the map.
No, the map just seems to be the floors you know, but it's also making references to like little landmarks or highlights. So it's like butcher paper. There's an X that seems to mark every closet. Some closets that you find are marked with scrawled notes. Some of them says door on 7/12. One of them says roses and butter. One of them says man with briefcase and white shoes. Some doors next to the roof access door are marked with Mr. Castaigne in the parlor. And there's a third floor landing area that's marked with dead guy and mask. And on the second floor landing in the back, it's kind of hard to see, but you would be able to, your characters would see it, is a sketch of a noose.
And whose apartment does the sketch of the noose line up with? From our previous knowledge of the...
Trying to look. Apartment. That's the first floor. Let me get my own map up. I have to get my map up with the McAllister floor plan. One sec. You're just asking questions I am not prepared to answer.
We're hiding from the SWAT team, so we might as well look through some stuff and see if
Yeah,
we
that makes
miss
sense.
anything that can help
All
us
right,
out.
so it was first floor. It was an empty apartment.
Oh. So we
Remember,
never
there was a
went in
bunch
there.
of empty apartments.
Yeah. That wasn't Thomas's apartment?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
It wasn't even on the proper floor because Thomas lived on the ground floor, not the first floor.
Yeah.
Vessel, is that the flight that you took out here? Because it was a Vegas to Boston in 2015.
I did take. I don't think I took a direct route. I don't remember actually.
So technically, the noose is not actually in the apartment. It's on the kind of second floor landing area. It's not even in an apartment. What was your question about the flight?
The Michael
did-
Whitwer.
Yeah, I did take the same route in, not out.
Yeah, you would recognize Vegas to Boston. It would have gone to the same airport as you, Vessel.
But earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm. I think you've identified Whitwer, right? Did you guys piece together who Whitwer is? I could have sworn you did. But now since you guys don't remember, I'm hesitant.
I think we encountered him in the hospital, didn't we?
In the where?
In the hospital.
I'm looking through my notes right now.
Okay. Why you guys do that? Who wants? Are we doing anything? Are we resting? Are we? What are we doing?
Yeah,
next?
we're gonna rest, and
Yeah.
I'll stay up. See
Okay.
what happens when Fawn falls asleep. If she does.
Okay.
We left running away in our car with the scribe and the lion running behind us, gaining final message from a professional dude, DEA special agent looking for Whitwer Michael. It's time to turn yourself in immediately.
It was also who Ophelia Cetri was engaged to.
Yeah.
Yep.
We know what you've done. It's time to turn yourself in.
Okay. You could dig into more of your notes. There's other stuff, but I'm hesitant to give it if you guys.
I know
don't
I
some
have
stuff.
more about him.
Yeah. It's okay. It's not like a pressing issue right this second. But if we're just kind of going through some stuff and clarifying, it's been a couple weeks we've been off, so we're probably a little rusty as well. All right, Fawn, go ahead and roll your sleep check. See if you can go night.
It's a SAN, right?
I believe so.
That's a fail.
Do you have to pass it or fail it?
Pass. Let me double
You do
check.
not. You do not fall asleep. I don't think you're ever gonna fall asleep.
Can
with
pills help with
those.
that? At all?
What's that?
Can she be assisted with like sleeping pills?
If someone has sleeping pills
Yeah,
or
if someone has
booze,
something.
yeah, I would give her a +20, I think, on the roll. But that wouldn't have helped her there.
No. So that's a fail. So I break
So, yeah.
repeatedly in turn.
Fawn, unfortunately, has a rough night. Chelsea, Album, one of you can sleep if you want. Whoever falls asleep, Vessel, you eventually see the dripping of that strange liquid, not water, but similar, but behind the curtain onto the ground. If anyone throws the curtain open, once again, you do, in fact, see that window. And you see the hotel room that you saw before, but it is not in the perfect condition when you first saw it. Like, you have there's a telephone that's kind of thrown haphazardly into the room that's laying on the ground. The typewriter's missing. The stack of papers is missing. Like, the damage that you did, the stuff that you took, all of it has remained the same.
But the door is still closed.
Yeah.
So who fell asleep here?
It's either Chelsea or
Probably me,
Album.
then.
Okay, so it'll be Chelsea.
You want to try giving the phone a call?
You do see the phone, by the way, is not hooked up. You ripped it out of the wall and then you threw it back into the
satellite
window.
phone.
The
Okay, I'm
satellite
just
phone is what connects to
Yeah.
it. Does the phone look like it can be reconnected to its like wall mount or whatnot?
Yeah, maybe if I head back in there, that's possible.
okay. Yeah. Vessel, you go inside. Sure, let's do this again. So if you
Do
recall,
I still have your gun, Vessel?
put him out of his misery.
No, I'm just in case someone comes into the room, I'll stick my hand into the room and shoot at it to protect Vessel.
I'll leave it behind. I don't think I shoot underwater.
Shoot me.
Some guns, yeah, a lot of guns can shoot underwater just fine. I would imagine.
Coup de grace, Chelsea.
It's fucked up.
Alignment change.
Guys are crazy. Okay. So you need to make some tests every time you want to move around in the room, just so you know, if you recall. I'm trying to remember. I think it was with athletics. I think it was athletics.
Thought we were doing swim, right?
Is it? Oh yeah, swim. Yeah, swim test. So you're trying to swim over towards the telephone.
Yeah, I'm gonna hook it back up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you swim over towards the telephone, you pick it up, and you kind of get it over towards where the wall mount is. You can see that there's a little bit of the cord the cord itself is kind of ripped out a little bit, but it's going into the wall. You did it fairly haphazardly, so you kind of like tore it out the back of the telephone. Go ahead and I'll assume screwdriver or something or a knife. But effectively what you're doing here is you're trying to splice the wire back together. I think is that fair? I think that we're on the same page with that. Right. I don't think it's not going to take a roll, but it will take time. So you're going to be successful at it. So we'll say roll if you have some kind of electronic skill, roll that, and then that'll determine how many rounds this is going to take you to fix this. So if you have electronics, or do you have any kind of science, engineering, repair, mechanics, stuff like that, anything that you think might apply.
I don't think I have anything like that, actually.
Okay, then we'll just say we'll make it a dex roll, as it's more about the nimbleness of fingers. So go ahead and roll dex times 5. Okay.
I fell.
All right. So I'm gonna say, since you fail, I'm gonna roll 2d4s as opposed to 1, and that's how many turns it's gonna take. It's gonna take 4 turns. Each one of these turns, I want you to roll kind of a swim test each time as you're trying to keep your balance. So yeah, let's go ahead first time. Okay.
Fail the first.
Yeah,
So I do
you
4
can.
right now.
Yeah, you can see him, Album. He's trying to fix it, but he's struggling a bit to kind of keep his balance and buoyancy within the room and try to do the very nimble movement of fingers that requires to splice the wire back. And then he's trying. You see him just kind of start to drift a little bit deeper into the room itself. Fawn, you're awake for this too as well. I think Fawn and Album are awake. Chelsea's the one who's asleep. Is there anything either of you want to do as you're watching him struggle a little bit inside?
I have dog shit swim, but I have like all the things to fix the phone.
I know, it's so just hard decisions here.
I guess I'll just look at Fawn and say, either we die or we fix this, and he'll just go in and try and assist Vessel.
Okay.
So not
Roll
very
us.
good, but I'll try.
Do you both want to go in?
Yes.
Don't leave Chelsea by herself.
All right, I'll stay. I only have a 20 swim.
Okay. Album, roll a swim test as you try to push your way over towards where Vessel is.
That's a fail.
Yeah, you try to get over there and you kind of like push a little too hard and you just kind of sail past him. Vessel, go ahead and roll swim. Okay. All right. That's good to go. So you watch as Album comes into the room, and he's trying to come towards you, and you see him kind of do the push with his feet off of the ground on kind of an angle to try to come at you. But all he does is just sort of push himself up towards the ceiling in the room. You're kind of hovering near the bed, kind of clinging slightly to the cord that's coming out of the wall. Album, Vessel, go ahead and roll swim.
Another
Album,
fail.
You're just like tumbling into the depths of space.
I think to myself, I have to fix this quickly before Album drowns.
I know you do. Okay. Vessel just keeps. You've managed to kind of peel back the coating of the wires on both sides, and you're kind of starting to kind of intertwine some of the underlying wires. Vessel, you're like kind of drifting further and further back into the upper right corner. You're like almost above the door at this point. Fawn, if you want to do anything, just let me know. You don't have to. I'm just saying, but if you want to do anything, let me know. Vessel and Album, go ahead and roll swim.
Fail.
Success.
Okay. Vessel, you managed to effectively reattach this telephone. No problem. You look over and you can see Album struggling as he can't seem to get his way out of the upper corner above the door that goes out into the hallway of the Hotel Broadalbin, presumably. That was locked.
Yeah, I'm gonna go assist him out of here.
Roll swim test. Try to go help him. Okay.
Oh, I failed.
You just start flailing around the room, but you get back to him. But you both are just kind of loosely flailing around. Fawn, do you want to do anything? Do you want to run into the bathroom and grab a shower curtain rod? You sure? There is one in there.
Does have another 616.
I already pulled that one off. What are you talking about? It was the cops.
Can I try to use that ritual sword thingamabob as like a stick it through and pull it out?
Okay. Both of you go ahead and roll swim test to see if you can push your way over towards where she's reaching in.
No, I fail.
Yeah, you're trying to swim. You're trying to like literally with your arms, but like you're just not getting the propulsion. Let's see. What are your con scores, by the way? Album, what's yours?
13.
16.
Okay.
Wonder what happens if I wake up while you're in the room.
Yeah,
That's a great question.
Distressing thought.
Okay. Go ahead and roll again.
Fail.
Just keep swimming.
Three
Wow,
straight
that's-
64s.
Wow.
Well, how's that possible? Can I reroll?
That's
That's
really weird.
crazy.
Yes, you guys can do a reroll, one reroll, as you do this.
All right. Success reroll.
Okay. Vessel, you managed to push your way over, reach out, and grab the tip of the fake antique sword that Fawn is holding out. You look behind you. Album's still sort of struggling here, kind of flailing about. He's a little bit further away from the wall now, doesn't have anything to push off of. And he's starting to panic a little bit, actually. You see his arms beginning to flail. You're not sure, like you yourself, you're starting to feel the pressure of your lungs as they're desperately looking for air, and you wonder, how Album, who is not nearly as fit as you, is doing right now. Well, fairly close, but not that close. Okay, Album, you can roll again. Vessel, you can just be pulled out by Fawn at this point.
I want to go for.
I'll re-roll that one, I guess.
Okay, reroll the crit fail. Makes sense.
My goodness. Can we try to do like a
There we go.
chain
Okay.
kind of a thing? Like
Yeah.
now that I'm in, can we try to kind of chain?
With that success, that's what we'll say happens, is that Album finally manages to sort of push himself free. He kind of kicks off maybe a lamp or something like that and reaches out, grabs the hand of Vessel, who is chained now to the edge of this this fake sword that Fawn has, and you just start pulling each other out one after the other, and you flop down into the middle of the room.
What was that, dog? You didn't have to come in.
It looked like you were the wire. I can't swim, but I know wires, and it doesn't matter. We didn't panic. We're fine.
All right, give the satellite phone call. It's connected.
Oh yeah, Album. Well, first Album's gonna say, okay, but when we call this number, usually we make a request and somehow it works out. I have two thoughts here. We can either request to get into Hotel Broadalbin, or we can request that the police forget that they're looking for us, and then we can go about our own ways to get into Broadalbin. I don't know which you think is better.
Probably the hotel bit. We've been struggling to find it.
Okay. Yeah, so Album will dial 616 on star 616 on the sat phone and look through the window.
Okay, you dial the number star 616. You see from the door that goes out into presumably the hallway a tall, thin figure rapidly, much faster than the two of you are capable of moving, enter the room. Doesn't seem to be swimming, just seems to be walking like a normal person, but actually at a fairly quickened pace. Comes in. You can tell that they're wearing kind of this tattered greenish gold robe with a hood over top of their head. You can see that the face is partially hidden. You think there might be a mask. It enters, spins, face is now hidden from you. Sits down on the bed with its back to the window. And the phone answers and you hear the same voice that you've heard before. What do you need?
I almost want to ask him to like wave through the window, but Album will just say, we need a way into Broadalbin.
Done.
How will we know when we see it?
You see the figure hang the phone up, click, stand up, spin back around, and just as quickly as they entered the room, just and out back through the door and into the deeper parts of the Hotel Broadalbin.
Album will look at the other two and say, and he'll stick his arm back through the window to see if it still feels liquidy or.
Oh yeah, you start moving it around. It's
Okay.
like, geez, this thing is like impossible to swim. It's awful. So thick, dense water.
Album will say, well, it's not that way, so we'll just have to pay attention, I guess.
So Fawn's just trying to think out loud. So if we could buy like scuba equipment and go in, and then we could breathe okay, and then we could call while we were in there, and then the door would
And
be
then we
open,
jump
and then we
him.
could go through. If this is the way in.
I don't know how we're gonna get scuba equipment if we still got the local PD after us. I guess I could have asked him for scuba equipment. That could have been a third option. Nice hindsight.
It's like a shopping phone.
Get some scuba equipment.
Wait, so he just said that was it. We got access.
You just said
He
done.
just said done, yeah. But in the past, when we've requested things, it's usually taken time.
What was the last thing we requested?
Ooh.
To get Chelsea, to help Chelsea. You called and you asked to help Chelsea.
Yeah. And then before that, Oh no! Before that was when I had destroyed the phone and some mysterious figure had dropped off a new one in
Yeah.
like a parking
You only
lot.
requested one thing from it, and it was to get Chelsea help after she got arrested.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then I'm willing to just rest for the night and see what happens in the morning.
Okay. Okay, so you start resting.
So nice for everyone else to be able to get sleep.
So Album, Vessel, Chelsea, you get a lovely night's sleep in a very cluttered, crowded room. Some of you are probably sleeping on the floor.
Album
but,
made himself a box fort away from Chelsea.
Okay. I love how paranoid you are of Chelsea.
So
It's
paranoid.
fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, you go ahead and you sleep. A couple times throughout the night, you hear the sound of somebody out in the hall, Fawn. It's like people are still patrolling here or there, but it's very infrequent. You can't tell if it's just like the hotel staff that's doing it, like looking around, or if it's like proper police. You're not really sure. But yeah, the night passes. You wake up, and we will continue next time to see whether or not your request is answered in a logical fashion that you can easily follow.
God.
But yeah, we'll call it there. I think that sounds like a good place to stop. I cannot wait for our post-game discussion when we get to the end.
That's one of my questions. Is
Just
if I
write
woke
the
up while
questions
they were
down.
in the room.
Just write your questions down, and I will peel everything back at the end and let you know. I will not do anything until then.
I think the sleep disorder is going to be the thing that kills me because I can never
Yeah.
recover anything.
Yeah, because you need willpower to protect you against sanity loss, but you have such low sanity that you can't pass your test to go to sleep.
Yep.
And so then you don't have willpower to prevent more sanity loss, and so you're just low and low and low.
This is what happens when you're sleep deprived. In real life.
Oh yeah, it's rough. Boy, I feel like we're getting close to some good stuff soon. I'm actually really looking forward to next week's episode now. Not that I always am actually, but some stuff happened this episode that has me very excited. But yeah, let's do some plugs. Ashley, what are you playing in tomorrow with me?
Tomorrow, we are going to be on Defenders of Kobold, and we are actually going to be playing The Darkest House.
Yeah.
I believe.
That's correct. Monty Cook Games. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Our friend Steven, the DM, is running us through that. We started last week. I got to break Ashley's arm. My character broke her character's arm, but
Yep.
I enjoyed it.
You also pulled a lamprey eel with me from the depths of my stomach.
Yeah,
It was so gross.
I did some good things and bad things. Like, yeah,
It was a night.
it was pretty gross. We were like 13 years old. It was 12,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
We're
Melissa.
crying.
Yeah, we were. You were just crying. Your poor younger brother. Melissa, you've got a couple games you're playing in pretty soon. Which ones are you in?
So you and I will be playing in Forbidden Lands tomorrow at 1 Central. Defenders of
Sounds
Kobold.
right.
And then on Tuesday, we are on Sirenscape for Call of
Sirenscape
Cthulhu.
channel, yeah. Old Matty Two Arms is running us through some Call of Cthulhu, The Mound. We're looking forward to getting back to that. Let's see. Then myself, you can catch me and Melissa and a bunch of others on Mondays. We're playing through Ultraviolet Grasslands. Sunday, I'll be over on Steam Still Murder playing some Shadowrun. And then next week, Thursday and Friday, Delta Green days. Delta Green on Thursday is over on Garblag Games, and Delta Green Friday with Impossible Landscapes is right here. So, and really excited to start up Wondering soon. But we'll talk more about that next week. But that's it. Thanks for you who hung out. Thank you for everyone who contributed to the crazy, I think it was like a level 5 hype train going on. We got subs, we got gift subs, we got bits. You've all been really, really nice and very generous, and we very much appreciate it. But we are going to go ahead and call it for tonight. I am going to raid us a channel so you can watch somebody else. I think we've got some people up. I don't know. I think the Defenders might be up.
Yep. Defenders are up. Bert.
Bert's up.
Let's see. Why have neither of them?
Some options.
don't see Steam Seal Murder, but I do see Defenders. So let's go ahead and do Defenders. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start that up. So everyone just hang out, take the raid, and watch them play some, I think they're playing basic fantasy RPG. So good night, everybody, and thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.